Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Real Estate Marketing and Coffee. I'm your host, Ed Troxell, with my lovely co-host,
Amanda Condyles.
and we are here every Monday morning at 8 a.m. doing this mini series. It could always go longer, but we're here doing this mini series with you to help you, the real estate agent, as well as the business owner, learn a little bit more about tech and how to navigate online here and figure out really just what's the best approach for whether it's your lead generation, which we're going to talk about today, or what tools to use, or in my case today, what craziness is going on with Instagram. You just never know what you're going to get when you're tuning into this show. It's a talk show. We make it fun and brief. It's usually about 30 minutes. So you can tune in live, watch us live if you want on social, or listen to us elsewhere. More on that later. Details later. Little cliffhanger for them, Amanda.
I know, it was almost a lean-in moment.
It was almost a lean-in moment. We're going to reserve that one.
I was like, we're starting out with a lean-in moment. And I was like, okay, not quite.
Yes. So if you're tuning in, let us know, share where you're at, what you do for your business. And then today's topic is going to be, what is the best real estate lead generation strategy? Now, of course, if you're a business owner, you can also feel free to take these tips and tools with you for your stuff. But before we get there, we're going to talk a little bit about what at least happened with me over the weekend. Amanda might want to share some of her details as well, but I definitely have a full story for all of us.
Oh, I think we should hear it because I've been waiting all weekend to hear it.
Yes. So here's the thing. And we're just going to dive right into today's topic because this ties in a lot of you, especially real estate agents. I know because I follow you on social, and I'm specifically talking about Instagram. There's a lot of you who depend on Instagram. And I want to stress, and my story today will hopefully really stress it, but I want to stress that it's a great lead generation channel. It's a great platform to have in addition to other things that you're using, but do not allow Instagram or any other platform to be your main channel. Meaning,
like your end all be all.
Yes, thank you. Yes. We don't want to have you be dependent on the channel, because here's what happens, and it happens to everyone. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it will.
Ready.
Yes. Has it happened to you, Amanda? I know I haven't shared everything with people.
No, I haven't had this issue. So I'm eager to hear and learn.
Okay, cool.
So that I don't have this happen to me, hopefully.
Yes. Yeah. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I just feel like these days, especially with the way that the platforms are run, and they're run by, a lot of it is run by what we call AI, artificial intelligence, which I know this is techie for a lot of people, but just so you know, it's not a human like you and I being able to decipher, like, this is a real person, this is a real comment. Like, it's a computer program, and there's a lot of issues with that. But anyway, so what happened on Friday was I was on Instagram, just like normal. I was connecting with some real estate agents from a Facebook group. And then I all of a sudden went to update my bio and I got logged out. It's like, okay, that happens. And then they wanted me to verify my identity, which this happens quite a bit. If you can relate, let us know. But they oftentimes have you, verify via your password. Then they send you a code, and they text you a code, I should say, to make sure it's really you, getting your phone number. And usually you're able to get right back in. Or they've done this. Have you experienced the head thing where they have you verify with your phone head movements?
No, but I'll tell you, on Facebook, so not Instagram, but Facebook, once they had me verify, and they picked random friends of mine and sent pictures from their profile, and it from various years, not even recent. And they'd be like, who is this? And they'd box it. And you don't, or at least I don't know everyone on my Facebook feed. And so I got in trouble, not in trouble, but I had a hard time with it because I was like, I don't know. I don't know this person.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, is this Ed Troxell, Amanda Condyles? And you're like, okay. So, but it's a weird, I
It
think it's
is.
their way, like you're saying, to tell if it's a real person or a bot, but
Mhm.
they're not making it easy for everyone.
Yeah, and see, I'm glad you shared that because all of us have different stories of
Yeah.
how we interact with these platforms in terms of these security codes. And so the for those who are curious, Instagram has been, at least for a few, maybe it's been a couple months now, they've been testing this whole, if you're on your phone, they open up the camera app, or the camera I should say, and they have you do this head nod. So you go up, down, well, up, down, side, side, and then it lights up, and then it's like, oh, cool, you're verified. Which I don't really know how they can verify that because technically they're not supposed to be keeping that video, but that's a whole nother story. Anyway,
That's a good
so
point because they're not live there sitting and watching. Okay, Ed's going up, check
yeah,
box.
it's very odd. So that's like was the newest security feature, and I'm telling you, Instagram, their security situation has been like, I don't know, going to the airport or something. Like you get frisked like almost every time you go online. It's weird. And so Friday, I got logged out. I had to do the code thing. I pop in the code, and I've never had this happen to me. So this is that moment where it will happen. It's just a matter of time.
It's not if, but when.
Yes. And they said, I got the code, I pop it in, and it says, "Thank you for verifying your identity. We will get back to you in approximately 24 hours."
No. Approximately.
Approximately. Approximately. Keep in
Wow.
mind, this was Friday, and this is a business account. Thankfully, I
Yeah.
don't rely on this, but here's what really stresses me out, Amanda. If I'm being totally honest, it's not the fact that I rely on Instagram and that I'm a heavy Instagram user. It's the fact that I have sent people to my profile.
Yeah.
I have had conversations with people. And now, if you go to my profile,
You
it's
don't
non
exist.
existent.
Yeah. And so these
It's
people are reaching out and you don't exist anymore, which looks, at least for me, if that were to
it's
happen to me, my first thought as such a
yep,
just realist is I'm thinking this is a scammer, this is spam, this is, or this person is no longer in business, like God forbid, any of these slew of things. And as we all know, if you have a business account, probably the conversations you're having in your inbox are lead generation or some type of um,
yes,
business conversation. So you're just leaving the other person high and dry. It's
yep,
like the equivalent in real estate of if a person asked to see a house or said they needed an agent and then you're gone. You
yeah.
disappear. Like they wouldn't want to work with you. They're not going to fight to hunt you down.
Exactly, and that's the part that stresses me out because
Mhm.
I don't I'm here, I'm
Yeah.
alive, I'm still in business, but I can't do anything, and so and today is Monday, so I'm still technically do not have a presence on Instagram, like, my account is completely
Hmm.
non-existent, and so it it just goes to show you that you have to remember to not put all your eggs in one basket and to make sure that you're constantly redirecting the traffic from social to
To where you want.
whatever else.
Yeah. And that's such a good point too, because I feel like so often we get stuck. Like I am a heavy Facebook user. Like Instagram is probably, I mean, don't get me wrong, I get on Instagram, but as far as like posting and engaging with people, Facebook is definitely my primary.
Yep.
And I don't know what I would do if I got blocked out of Facebook for a day and I was in the middle of having business conversations because I have this happen a lot. People will reach out on, from all over because they'll start engaging and say, "Hey, I need help with, managing my database," and someone will tag me, and so I'll be messaging this person, and if my Facebook went away, this person would have virtually no access to get me.
Yep.
And what it makes me think of is why we, especially real estate agents, why we stress having multiple streams of income. Because if one of them ever goes away, like God forbid, if the market ever crashes, which we don't foresee happening anytime soon, but if it did, what do you do as a real estate agent, right? So same
Mhm.
theory in social platforms is what do you do if one of them crashes altogether?
Yeah.
Like recently, it was a couple months ago, we saw that big social media. I don't remember if it was Facebook
Facebook.
or Instagram or all
Yep.
of them, but nobody could get in for a couple hours
Yeah.
and people lost their mind.
Yep.
And you have no idea what people have scheduled too. It's not even just, engaging with comments and photos and posts. Like our live would have been affected that day had it been down. This right
Yeah.
here, we could have been teaching a class. There's so many different variables to think about. And so I love what you're saying about having it multiple streams of social media for this reason, because
Yes.
let's hypothetically say you're only on Instagram. Now you have no online presence.
Mhm.
You've reduced yourself to zero, because it's not like people can say, I wonder if that was a spammer or something. Let me go check him out on Facebook and see if he's real
Yes.
life.
Yes. And that's a great point there, and that's why I wanna stress to everyone, when we talk about your lead generation strategy and where you should be showing up online, I
Mhm.
know that it's stressful because you have your business to run, then you have hopefully a website to manage, and then you have at least one social platform. We'll start with Facebook, and then we start adding in, okay, now you gotta get an Instagram, now you gotta get a
Yep.
LinkedIn, now you gotta get a Twitter and whatever. Understand that that's all part of doing business online. And what you just shared with us, Amanda, is the facts that we can research you and find you on these different platforms is key so that if
Yeah.
something does happen to one, you're still present on the other. And that's probably one of the best ways to diversify yourself and be able to collect leads, because I will tell you, thankfully, I started to connect with a lot of agents on Instagram over on LinkedIn as well.
Okay, perfect. So you've got that
So,
diversity you're talking about. Yeah.
yes. And I will say it's very interesting to note that those who I connected on Instagram first, when I connected with them on LinkedIn, we actually had more of a conversation on LinkedIn than on
Mm,
Instagram. So that
interesting.
was cool.
Okay.
Mhm.
Huh.
Yeah. So I was happy to see that a lot of agents are present on LinkedIn. They may not be active in terms of posting and commenting,
Sure.
but being present at least and being responsive, which is nice because
Mhm.
the other thing too, and I don't know if you know this, Amanda, but when you're on LinkedIn, obviously it's business, right? Like it
Yeah.
is the business platform. And when you are connected with someone, you actually get to tag them. So if, for example, you and I are connected on LinkedIn, and if I came across a post that I knew you weren't going to be interested in, somebody was looking to streamline their processes and being able
Mhm.
to have someone handle their client care services, I literally could tag you on that post and you would get notified for that. But if we were not connected, I could not tag you on that. And
Okay,
so
so you have to be connected with people. Makes
yes.
sense.
Yes. So that's why it's really important to, especially on LinkedIn, to connect with the right people,
Mhm.
because you want to be that networker who connects people with the right tools, resources, and people, because they will remember you. So that goes into the strategy about, what are some of the best ways to have that lead generation. And I'd say being on LinkedIn and connected with people.
Well, and I love what you're saying too about being that networker and that resource, because I think personally for me, I think that is the greatest lead generation strategy. It's definitely a longer term strategy, but that's my lane, right? Long term nurture. And so for me, I think the people that invest on the front end and that coming from contribution and being a resource to anyone and everyone. And trust me, it's a lot of work. I'm not naive in saying this. But when you can come from that contribution and have that be that resource, that go-to resource, that's when those leads funnel in naturally, right? So I'll give an example. If you're on, say, Nextdoor or even in Facebook groups, maybe your neighborhood has a Facebook group, you can be a resource because people often ask questions that are maybe real estate adjacent, or I'll even take this outside of real estate, your industry adjacent, right? Maybe people are asking about lenders. Who has a good lender connection? I'm looking to refinance my home. Great opportunity as a real estate agent to come in and offer value and say, hey, as a real estate agent, this is a lender that I know and trust and have worked with personally. I'd recommend them. So you're not getting business. You're not saying, and if you want to buy and sell, call me. You're being a resource, but who is this person going to think of if you keep showing up enough like that? They're going to think of this person who's continuously resourceful, right?
Yes.
Same deal. If you need an electrician, hey, personally, I'd much rather call a real estate agent to ask them about their lender, their escrow, their any of their services, contracting services, taxes, because they use them all.
Yeah.
You know, as 1099 realtors have to have a good CPA because of all the taxes and stuff that goes involved in that, right? And
Right.
filing your taxes as a business or individual. And so a lot of people have really good connections with the tax accountants. So coming from that value and that contribution, I think that's the best possible way that you can generate leads. It's longer and it
Yes.
takes more work, but you build that trust.
Yep. And that's so true. And when we talk about like the social platforms, and we'll cover a couple other platforms too for those tuning in, is when you're thinking about lead generation, you brought up a good point about Facebook groups.
Mhm.
Because I know a lot of people are into Instagram. There's various reasons, but a lot of people kind of are trying to pull away from Facebook and be on Instagram. Ideally, I think everyone should be on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at the bare minimum.
Bare
Those
minimum.
three.
Yep.
You can be on other ones, of course, especially Nextdoor or whatever. But it's nice to have like what I would say the top three, and then of course, if you're doing video, then you got to be on YouTube. I mean, let's
You
just.
have to be. Yeah. Well, and
Um,
why wouldn't you want to be? I mean, like you always talk about leveraging, we could download every single one of these real estate marketing and coffees, put them on YouTube. I mean, we might not become famous YouTubers who are going to make $4 million a year from YouTube, but we're still, once again, coming from contribution and offering a valuable resource. So what are people going to do? If they type in real estate marketing in YouTube, we might populate, and it
yeah.
might in the long term get us business down the road, right?
Oh, so true. And that's the important part I want everyone to pay attention to, especially because we get inundated with the we got to get 1 million subscribers and we got to do all these viral videos and all this stuff. Listen, you just got to do video,
Mhm.
and you got to come from a place of serving. That's
Yep.
really all you have to do. And then you can start to see traction build up. Then you can start to get a little bit more fancier with maybe your equipment, or you're optimizing for the posts and the titles and tags and all that crap. Like there's so much that can be done that you're already being overwhelmed at the start and you don't do it. And so
Yep.
the point is to just start creating videos. Know that wherever you're creating videos, like we know we're creating videos on Facebook and LinkedIn, but we're also, before we even do anything else, we also know that it's going to be put over on YouTube. Like I put these on my YouTube channel in case somebody wants to come in,
Ooh, sorry.
in case somebody wants to watch something and
Yeah.
catch up. Like you can find it on the various platforms.
Mhm.
And so again, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, because you all should be doing video, especially come 2022.
Mhm.
Listen, here's our lean in moment.
Here it is right here.
If you have not done video yet,
Mhm.
this is your sign to do video. This is your message that you will. Let me start back. You can and you will do video in 2022.
Yep.
There you
And
go.
why is that, Ed? What was that statistic we recently learned?
Yes, it's over. I think, was it 82? I usually have
It
these
was
like,
somewhere in the 80s,
yeah.
84, 86.
I have it right here.
My
80.
gut wants to say 86, but I don't know if that's right.
Let's see.
We'll see if I should buy a lottery ticket if I win this.
Right? 82% of all internet
Oh,
traffic
you should
will
buy
be
a lottery
video-based
ticket.
in 2022.
But that's a huge number if you think about it. That means only 18% of what was it? That 82% of marketing would be video.
Yeah.
So that means only 18% of marketing. Think of any way that you achieve a lead now or any type of connection. only 18% is going to be done doing print or direct connection. Everything else will be video. And when I say direct connection, I mean like picking up the phone, not FaceTime, a text, an email, like 18%. And yet most agents are spending all their efforts here, right? I just want to email. I get this all the time. People and their client care strategies, they just want to either send a mailer or an email. And I always, 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 in the same way that you preach live video, I preach calling your people, because and even if it's not you, if you hire a team like my team to come and call on behalf, great. But calling your people is because it's that connection piece.
Right.
And only 18% now will be anything other than video. So not to scare anyone, but 82%, if you're not doing any video right now, you have a big gap and hurdle to overcome in the next year. And I would start now because it's easy and simple. It doesn't have to be like what Ed's saying. We don't have to go all out, be on every platform, do a video on every single one once a day. Like there's ways that you can integrate different services that'll post to multiple things. There's ways that you can leverage both, but as we always say, stay consistent in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's build that traction. Yeah.
Yeah. And for those who are, nervous about video, maybe you're fine on camera, but you don't know what to do. Like there's so many different things. So reach out, because I can help you with that, and I can provide you with resources at the very least. But understand that we all start there. Mm-hmm. We all are there for the beginning. Yep. And we get better because we consistently do it. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that you have to understand. And so when you are thinking about this video stuff, and if you're more comfortable with, let's say, the mailers or the emails, understand that you can start buying video. Like this is what I teach my clients is take what you know and love and add some new technology to it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be challenging. And that's where that personal connection comes in.
Like I tell everyone, hey, if you don't want to call quarterly, incorporate a video into your smart drip campaigns, right? So I guess that's my lean in moment for the day, but my pro tip, right? But there's ways that you can incorporate these things to make it where it's still video, but still caters to your preferred type of lead generation.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so really Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube should be the 4 that you're present on. So have a profile.
Yep.
Please write down your passwords. Ideally, you're putting them into some digital vault, like 1Password or LastPass.
Yep.
But have them down because you're going to need them at some point and you're going to forget them. It's just the fact.
It just is. Yeah.
And then know that it's a combination. So when we talk about what's the best strategy for lead generation, I feel like and I'm not a lawyer, but I've done a lot of legal stuff in the past. And I will say, I feel like the answer is what a lawyer would tell you. It depends.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of your efforts in all of these areas coming together.
And sometimes, just like we see with SEO, search engine optimization, you want to hit them from multiple fronts. Like there's numerous times. For example, I just bought a water rower, an Ergata specifically.
I have no idea what that is. Let's
just
pause.
a rowing machine, but it uses water it's super cool. It's like a Peloton.
What?
Yeah, it's super cool. And so it uses water instead of that pulley system. And it's got, the virtual screen like a Peloton. So you can row yourself in Spain, or you can do little races and stuff. It's super cool. I love it. They don't have the online class feature yet, but anyways, I bought this because I saw it on Facebook from these social media influencers I saw, right? And so they're posting about it because Ergata's paying them. But then because I clicked it on Facebook, I then saw it on Instagram. And so then it popped up in my Instagram ads and my Facebook ads.
Yep.
And so then this is all I'm seeing. Now it's in my Instagram stories. Now it's on my TikTok, right? So now I'm seeing Ergata everywhere. And then I had a friend say, have you seen this? I want an Ergata. And I was like, okay, I need to buy it. I need it now, right? And so I went and bought a water rower. So this is what Ed is talking about when he says diversify and be on, it's the combined effort, is it's not just, hey, I am putting all of my Facebook ads on, or all of my ads on Facebook for Regatta, and I'm going to pour all my money into it and we'll just double down because I'm Facebook heavy.
Right.
It took me Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok before, and a friend before I was like, yes. And when I saw it that many times in that many places, there's something it does to your brain. Naturally, it tells your brain, this is a big deal. It's everywhere, right? Really behind the scenes, it's just search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm.
But you start to activate what's called your reticular activator, right, in your brain. And then you start to see it everywhere. And so if someone's thinking of buying or selling and they see your ad on Facebook, but you're diversifying, and then now they see it on Instagram, and maybe you made a TikTok video, and so now you're popping up there. They see it. Now all of a sudden they're thinking about buying and selling a house more often, right? And now they've seen you in 3 different platforms, 3 different times at the bare minimum. And because,
and that's the huge part to take away. Like when we were talking about earlier about, you don't have to have 1 million views or 1,000 subscribers or whatever your goal is for social. Understand that you don't have to have those in order to reach success. Like obviously everyone's successes looks different, but when we talk about the consistency and we talk about that video and we see it over and over, that's what gets ingrained in people's mind. Just like you watching or listening to this episode, you're going to hear and see it multiple times, not necessarily this episode, but the previous episodes, right? Like you see us every Monday show up somewhere and you're like, oh, Ed and Amanda. Okay, cool. So Ed does the video stuff. Amanda does the client care services. So like when I need something like that, I'm going to reach out to one of them for support. And it's just going to automatically happen. They may not ever watch an entire episode. You might just zoom in for 2 seconds and watch it and be like, these guys are cool. And then
just heard the name. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what happens. So understand that when you're creating your videos, I say videos, you can do posts, whatever, but I'm coming from that video side and I'm trying to get you to do more videos. And when you come from the video side, understand that it's the consistency of you showing up and ideally us seeing your face. Again, I know there's lots of other things around being on camera. And yes, there are ways for you to create videos without you being on camera, but I'm going to stress that you program your mindset to be on camera at least every so often because we want to see your smiling face.
Yep. And most of the time people don't leverage, like if you like Ed, you are so smiley that like I feel like people look at your pictures and they see it and then it's contagious and attractive and they're like, yes, this is the guy that can teach me video marketing because I see him on camera and he's happy and chipper and now I want to learn to do that, right? Like you leverage that to your advantage. A lot of people are so afraid because they think they look some kind of way or whatnot, and they don't ever leverage it. Get out of your head in that way. Because 90% of what you're thinking, or probably even more than that, 99% of what you're thinking is not real life. It's not, people aren't thinking that about you. You're just there. And if you can let go of the attachment of the lead generation, this is my big lead gen strategy. Let go of the attachment and the expectation of it. Let go of that sense of urgency and now. And I'm not saying urgency isn't important. I'm just saying when you go into it and say, okay, I'm making this cold call and I need to secure a lead now, you show up that way. When you can shift your mindset to coming from contribution and being a resource, that's all you're doing, right? I had an agent teach me this about lead generation and calling. He said, all we're trying to do is help them take their next step. He said, so the goal isn't setting appointments. The goal isn't getting leads. The goal is helping them take their next step, whatever that is. Maybe that's getting them into a credit restoration group. Maybe that's connecting them with a lender to see if they even qualify. Maybe that's setting them up on a home search. Maybe that's meeting with them. It might be. Maybe it's going to look at houses, whatever their next step is. And he said, our goal of every phone conversation is to be a resource to help get them to that next step, but then to also secure the next communication. That's all it is. So if I'm calling you right now, hey, Ed, I know you raised your hand, said you were interested in buying this year, and I'm just checking in. You might not be ready now. And in your head, you're thinking next December. Well, my goal is just to be a resource and to also get that next phone call, right? And so
Yeah.
I'm letting go of the attachment in that now. This is my big thing. If people just let go of the now, I need it now,
Right.
their lead gen strategy will take off. Because, like, right here, right now, if you and I had an expectation that we were going to get all this business from doing these videos that we do on Monday, we
Yeah.
might be sadly disappointed and not do anything. We might not continue. But after 6 months of us doing these videos on Mondays, what do you
Right.
think? Who do you think people are going to call if they see this enough? When they
Yep.
need video marketing help, they're going to call you.
Yeah.
When they need client care help, they're going to call me because we've
Yes.
shown up enough. And so it's not that now we're not going to hang up and get
Right.
10,000 leads
Yeah.
magically, but that consistency and that resource is going to pay off dividends in the long run. And so that's why
Yes.
we're just doing the next right thing.
Yeah, no, I love that, and that's the part where I want everyone to understand is that I know in a lot of times you need it now or
Mhm.
yesterday, but understand that you gotta also pay attention to the work that you gotta put in, which isn't going to pay anything
Mhm.
in the short term. It will in the long term if you stick it out long enough. And so that's something to just be aware of. I know we're getting close on time here, but that's something to be aware of and to understand, even for us, this series is an experiment series. Like
Yeah.
that's why I say it's a mini series because we originally started out with the idea that we were going to do a live series for maybe a month, and that was about
Yeah.
it. And this is our, let me double check. I have it
I
written
think
down.
it's our like
Sixth episode.
sixth. Yeah.
Yeah. And I usually seasons, so not to get too crazy and technical, but seasons can be anything. But I usually frame seasons about 10 episodes. And so we're like almost with our first season. Like we didn't even start out with that. We were just like, we're going to
Yeah.
just do this and see what happens. And timing worked out for us.
Mhm.
And we actually enjoy this. So we're going to do it as long as we can. And it's just fun.
Yeah.
That's the expectation that we have is that it's fun and we get to do this
Mhm.
and hang out together. Like
Yeah.
that was our expectation.
Yeah, and that's it. And you bring up a great point too about expectation, because what it makes me think of is when you need it, you said, I know a lot of you need it now. When you come from that mentality, I am convinced that it comes out in your language and your speech. You might not recognize it. And this translates even past just this translates to all the lead gen ways. If you are emailing, if you are cold calling, if you are on video, whatever you're doing, if you are in that desperation of I need clientele now,
Yeah.
it's going to come across, right? So if Ed and I were desperate for clients and we were only doing this show for that, the whole time we're going to be like, so if you need client care help, give me a call. Let me tell you the list of services that I have. I'll actually post my flyer in the comments below. Nobody wants to listen to that.
Right.
I mean, maybe they need it right now, but I would say that's probably 1 in 10.
Yeah.
And so be careful of that. And that's why I say let go of that expectation and realize that you're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
And do the consistent things, because then that doesn't come across in your speech and you still get to show up as resourceful and helpful. And that's where your bread and butter should be, is when you can come from that service mentality. Man, people love that.
Oh, 100%. And so to wrap it up for this episode, everyone tuning in, what's the best lead generation strategy? I would say from my side is it depends, and that it's a combination of your different efforts. Like we said, being on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. YouTube more, and this will vary for everyone. So it depends on your strategy, but at the bare minimum, let YouTube be your public video upload storage, for lack of better terms. Like,
That's a good way to put it. It's like a Dropbox for your videos.
yes, yeah. So, like, at the very least, use these social platforms, whatever is easiest for you to create on, repurpose and make sure that you're repurposing to YouTube. And ideally, yes, you want to optimize those videos and get things going. But if that's not where you're at right now, at least get the videos over there. You
Yep.
can always go and edit later or have somebody else edit for you later. But just keep that in mind. So really utilize the different areas and learn from what is happening to my
Yep.
Instagram account and so many others, that you have to redirect that conversation and get it off of social platforms so that you can stay connected with them, whether that's email, text, phone calls, whatever. Just make sure that you are not leaving things up to the Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn gods for the messaging. Like, get it
Well,
out of
I love your point, and I know we're so close, but I'll just share this from
there.
a client care perspective. Getting it off of your Instagram or your Facebook, like getting an email or a phone number and then adding that to your spreadsheet or CRM system is huge, because now you have a way to continuously follow up with them,
Yep.
because they can block you
Yeah.
and I'm not saying like don't show up in a way that makes them block you, but they can be like, "Ooh, I don't," like they can feel some kind of way, but now you have a point of contact that's personal, right? So
Right.
there's something about that personal connection on a phone or an email that you have when you have that. Like, I don't share my phone number with just everybody, and I have a
Right.
Google Voice number for a lot of my business stuff. So if you get my personal number, like we
You're,
have a connection
yeah,
now.
you're a VIP.
You're
Let's just
VIP, yeah, I won't say it's in my email signature, but
yeah.
VIP, right? And so now you have a way to continuously follow up and take it a step further. So that diversifying your lead gen strategies, because now you can set them up on smart drip campaigns and call campaigns versus just relying on Instagram. So if everything crashes, and this is what I tell agents all the time who tell me they don't need a CRM system. And I tell them, even if your CRM system, and when I say CRM, I mean customer relationship management tool. So
Yep.
somewhere you can house Ed Troxell, phone number, email, birthday, home anniversary, address, any information you want about Ed,
Yep.
so that you can continuously stay in touch with them. Now you can diversify that. You have a way to follow up with them. You have a way to stay in touch. You can add notes to it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's huge.
huge, 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 huge. So for all the reasons Ed just mentioned, definitely diversify your social platforms. Don't rely heavily on one, because should something happen, you want to be able to still stay in touch and engage with your people. And Instagram and Facebook too, with how polarizing a lot of political issues are now, some of them are banning people. And so, not to get political or anything, free speech, you say what you want, but be careful in that regard on
Right.
business platforms, because or leverage your CRM system, because should you get banned or, blocked out for a certain period of time, you're going to lose that same thing like Ed did, just for the verification. So,
Yeah, it's so important. So just keep that in mind and understand that there are systems and processes you can put in place for everything,
yep.
whether it's your client care stuff, your video stuff, your posting, whatever. There's a system and process for it, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You just have to actually reach out to the right people to get that support. And so don't be afraid to reach out,
Yeah.
and don't wait for things to be perfect. Just start. That's the message for today.
I love it.
All right. Well, if Amanda, if you don't have anything else, I think we're good to go.
No, I think we're good.
All right. Well, I hope all of you have a good rest of the week, and we will see you back here next Monday. Be sure to share, like, comment, whatever you want, subscribe. Do you? And we will see you back here next Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Take care, everyone.